Man, so what's happening, people? We have a big announcement today. I feel like I'm too loud in my headphones. That's not the announcement. We have sold the show technically working, huh?
What?
What? Wait, what'd you say?
I think you sound fine to me.
Oh. Yeah, well, we've sold technically working.
Oh, okay. Waiting
So,
for my check.
So your check is in the mail. If it has not arrived in the next 7 to 10 business days, I have a number for you to call to get your check.
Oh, so it's not like one of those prepaid rebate cards where it takes 6 to 8 weeks so you forget about it?
Yeah, man. Sold a show for a rebate card. It's an Amazon gift card, actually.
Oh. Anyone interested in buying it? Oh, oh wait, it's already sold. Who'd we sell to?
I can't really disclose that. No, we ain't selling nothing, man. Listen, but if you want to advertise over here, you should get in touch. Feedback at technicallyworking.show is how you can do that. I'm not sure I would sell the show to anybody. It'll have to be a pretty big bag for both of us because we're building a thing here. And if you buy it and then you go out and do something
Bodish.
destructive to it, we still got to deal with that some kind of way for a few years, be it conventions like, oh, you're technically working. No, we sold that to these people.
We are not. We were,
but we do. So yeah, pretty big bag.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to say more than what Spotify, I think it was, gave Joe Rogan. Like, we need a bigger bag than that, man. Because, like, if we sell the show, I ain't coming back on the internet. I'm done.
Yeah. Done. Just out.
Find an island somewhere, comfortable, and just get drone deliveries until AI kills us all.
So
anyhow, what's happening, man? What have you been up to for the week?
Oh, man. I texted Damashe on Thursday and said, I feel like I haven't done nothing this week. And I think you said something similar, or we called each other or something. I don't even remember. Because then I went down a rabbit hole. And now I feel like I've done a lot. I am not ready to fully talk about it yet because I want to experiment a little bit more and get things in place. But let's just say tools are growing. We'll leave it at that. Because, yeah, hold on. You might hear a click. Let's see. Hopefully you don't. Did you hear a click?
Nope.
Good. That means my virtual devices are amazing. Just saying. In loopback.
Shout out to Rogue Amoeba.
So I have a quick question for you, and it's about audio hijack. And I was streaming on Friday, and I noticed this was an issue in the past, but let me walk you through this session that I have. And I'm going to turn voiceover down because I guarantee you're probably hearing that. Well, maybe not, but it is super loud in my headphones. I keep voiceover at like 20% and people are like, you do what? I'm like, yeah, voiceover's there if I need it, but most of the time I know what I'm doing. So I have
voiceover is routinely super low, unless I'm using the laptop on the road with an AirPod, and then I'll turn it up.
So I have, all right, bear with me while I run through this. On the left side, I have audio apps and mic, which is my input device. It's a virtual device. It has one output wire to simple compressor. Under that, I have Zoom, which is obviously Zoom, with two outputs, one to the simple compressor and the other one to the output device. And then I have the Club, which is Clubhouse, and that has two outputs, one to the simple compressor and then one to the output. So you follow me so far?
Yep.
Okay, so now when I tap my right arrow, I have simple compressor, which has three inputs. I think three. Hold on. Yeah, three inputs and one output. And that. Oh, nope, that didn't. So it has two outputs. One is to recorder. So I have a archive of what I'm broadcasting. And then the other one is to the broadcast block. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go over here to recorder and it's recording and it has, and I set it to mono for right now, and you'll see why in a moment. It has one input, and that's from the simple compressor. So then I tap my right arrow again, and I'm just working my way across this, and I'm on broadcast. Broadcast has one input wire from simple compressor, no output wires. Now, the problem I'm trying to solve is my microphone and Clubhouse, specifically my microphone and Clubhouse, are doubled on the broadcast. I don't know if they're doubled on the recording, and as I say this, I should go look at that. But you know that sound when you have two of your mics set up? So, any ideas what could be causing that?
Let's see. All right. While I'm thinking about this, I have a question. Do you not feel like you're overusing that one little simple compressor block? Because it is getting complex. It's doing a lot of compressing.
It is doing a lot of compressing, but my hope is that everyone, Zoom, myself, or Clubhouse, are all compressed and at the right level.
All sound the same.
Yeah. Yes, that was my objective with that.
Okay. So you're doubled in the stream. So when you're broadcasting live, so like if I go to, I don't know this, but I'm just picking this out of the air because I'm assuming that's what it is also. If I go to media 7 to listen to this thing, I just picked a random media number. I would hear you doubled, is what you're saying, you in Clubhouse specifically.
Yes, me and Clubhouse specifically. Now here's another level to the complexity. And honestly, I could probably just destroy my whole audio hijack session, and I might do that to rebuild it and see if that fixes it. But myself and Clubhouse come out of the left channel. Zoom comes out of the right channel.
Of the stream?
Yes.
So if I got on one ear pod, I may not hear Zoom as loud as I hear you in Clubhouse.
Accurate. Okay.
I would start by looking at your settings. So I'm assuming, so you're grabbing Clubhouse directly from Club Deck? I'm assuming? Okay. And then your audio, is that a virtual device or is that you grabbing your channel? Okay.
The virtual device.
All right. What is in that virtual device? Is it just your mic or is there anything else?
It is my mic and Farrago.
Okay. All right.
Hold on one second, because I am checking to see if because to narrow it down, my thought is maybe it is the broadcast block. So I am playing a quick look of the archive because I never thought about checking that out. And I'm going to keep talking for about 5 more seconds, and then I'll be able to tell you if the recording is split. But I don't think the recording will be. It is not. Oh, I don't know if I hear duplicates, though. I should check that. Because the recording's not going to be split, because it's recording mono, because I thought it was the recording that was causing it. But then when I'm looking at my session, there's no outputs from the recording to the broadcast block. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go see if I am...
Let's see, let me jump over here.
That is way too loud. You know what? You're going into Reaper because then I can manipulate you easier.
One thought is look at your settings on the individual blocks for Clubhouse and for your microphone.
Okay.
Click on the advanced button, and are your channels set to default?
That's a very good question that I don't know. I will check that in a second,
And do you have the ability to do a test of this without blowing up something on ACB?
Yes. Probably. Yes.
Sort of. He says, very unconfidently.
Yes. I am checking, though. I'm fast forwarding through this recording real quick to see if Clubhouse and myself are duplicated, because that... people talk a lot. So it's the guy who's done a podcast with 158 episodes or whatever.
So my other question while you're scrubbing through that too is, have you verified that your you and Clubhouse are doubled, or is this something you're hearing from someone else? Or you like, have you listened to the stream yourself and
Yes.
you can tell that you're doubled? Okay.
And I am doubled in the recording as well.
Okay. So that means
I'm going to go to input device. I'm going to go to advanced. It is default for left and right channel on that. Now I'm going to go to Clubhouse. Advanced. Clubhouse has include audio input.
Okay, that may be the Clubhouse.
Hold up. All right, I think I just figured out why I'm doubled. Because include audio input is checked for the Zoom.
And you're using your audio input for...
So I'm going to uncheck include audio input. And then... But why would Club Deck also be doubled?
How are you routing audio to... Okay, so let's back up. So to break this down, and this will also help people who might be getting a little lost here. So Michael is using Audio Hijack to stream and also make a backup recording because he's been probably hanging around me too long or talking to me too long. You know, it's still wild that it's been over 10 years, dude, and we ain't met in person. That's fucking crazy.
It's gonna happen this summer, though. Either way, like...
Yeah, that is wild when I think about it, though. It's like, man,
right?
Mike's been all around the world and met all these random people. I'm sorry, you people aren't random, but what I mean is like people that I don't know these people at all. Like some of these people, I'm like, he's like, do you know? I'm like, no, I've never heard of this person. Like, I heard of them 6 months ago when you mentioned to me that you met them at a thing, but no, I don't know these people.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jeff doesn't, I don't think Jeff believed me for a little while when I told him that I have not ever met you in person. He's like,
I've even met Jeff.
Yeah,
which
last
is really
year,
crazy.
Right? Well, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. In Jackson.
2 years ago.
In,
it was Orlando. Yeah.
Yep. So 2 years ago.
Yep. I've met JJ. I've met Doys. So Mike is doing all this backup recording. Now, I'm going to ask some specific questions about your virtual devices because you have your mic on a virtual device. But you also have to get Zoom's audio into Club Deck and Club Deck's audio back into Zoom. So is that using a virtual device that also has your microphone attached to it?
No. So the way it works is I have 3 virtual devices. I have one audio apps and microphone. That is the one that's in the Audio Hijack session that we were talking about. It has my microphone, channel 5 on the Vocaster, to left and right, and Farrago, right?
Okay.
I have a Zoom and microphone, which is my input for Club Deck, and that has my audio apps and mic virtual device and Zoom associated with it. And then I have a Clubhouse and microphone, which again has audio apps and mic and Club Deck associated with it. And each of those Club Deck and microphone is the input for Zoom, and Zoom and microphone is the input for Club Deck.
Okay. So one thing could be you have the box checked that says include audio input on your Zoom block and on your Club block. So I wonder if that would resolve the problem because that would be routing your audio in twice. Does that make sense? Because you have your microphone set up already, but then and I wonder if one of those boxes is checked and one of it isn't checked, or if one of those apps is weird. I could see Zoom stomping you out and not doing that. But your mic, your Zoom and audio, Zoom. What you call it? Zoom mic,
Zoom
and, audio
and mic. Zoom
and mic input
Clubhouse and mic.
Going into Clubhouse. Clubhouse is block and Audio Hijack is including that audio input, but it makes you wonder why Zoom isn't doubled. Wait, what does that block say exactly? Does it include microphone input or include application input?
It says, let me go back to where it was, Media 5, and we'll go to the club. It says include audio input.
That makes you wonder why Zoom isn't coming out doubled if that was the reason. Though.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to.
And you sure you don't have a wire running? Well, you say you only have one input to the broadcast block.
Audio device selection. Capture audio played to the default audio device. Capture audio played. I haven't seen this one before. The audio device selection. Capture audio played to the default output device. Capture audio played to all output devices. And capture audio played to the specified devices. Hold up. SoundSource. I bet I know what the problem is. I bet I'm redirecting audio from Clubhouse in SoundSource to something else.
Huh.
Oh, it's not going to show me Clubhouse because I'm not running.
It's not running.
Yeah.
Wahahaha.
So one of those mysterious things. I'm going to be playing around with this setup in the next couple of days, and if I figure out what it is, I will be sure to let everyone know.
Yep. And see, this is the classic troubleshooting situation because this is what happens a lot of time for people when you send in an email to a podcast or something like that. And you're like, hey, I did this thing that you said do, or I followed the directions from this thing and did this. And then you got some weird side app nobody's ever heard of, like SoundSource redirecting your audio in weird ways. But you didn't mention this in your email is what I'm saying. So, we can't even account for those sorts of things.
And we don't blame you for that because we do it all the time. We forget that we have these apps all the time.
Because we do it all the time. Because Mike may discover that is the reason that this is happening. And I could have totally, and I probably have at some point in the past done the same thing. We're like, oh, this isn't working or audio isn't flowing the way I think it should because I'm doing a weird thing with SoundSource. And I did this one time for a specific reason and forgot about because it was working until I wanted to do something different. So
is this 158?
This should be, hold on. I actually think this might be 159.
I don't remember because I made the joke about you not coming back for one of the episodes. I don't remember if it was 158 or if it was 157. So I'll let you go look while I put technically working recording. And we're going to hit go live. All right. So now I'm going to go unmute here. And then I just got a notification that I'm live.
Yeah, this is 158.
This is 158? Okay.
Yep.
Well, just letting you know we are live in Clubhouse. Why did I do that? That doesn't even make any sense. It's not where I was having problems.
So if you want to test it, you want to configure. So one, duplicate that so you don't break anything. And then you want to use your broadcast block to send to like a YouTube live or something like that is the way to test that. Yeah, that's weird. Again,
it's one of those days, man. It's just one of those.
I was going to say, it's not a thing that I have not, reasonably done too. It's like, why did I even open this app? That's not what the problem is. Like, I'm over here fixing something. It's like, well, everything looks fine over here. Oh, this is not even a problem. What am I doing? Yeah, it's been one of those weeks, man. It's been a crazy week. I am, for everybody listening, do I sound any different? I wonder. I don't know. I sound a little different to me.
I mean, you sound like you sound. Did you change your audio setup?
Yes, man, I did. I changed everything. Actually, I only changed
everything.
The microphone. No, I just changed the microphone. Mark's like, everything? What did you do?
I ain't changing everything or anything for the rest of my life. I'm just leaving it the way it is once I fix it. And man, now that there's this accessible utility to get your Stream Deck working, I have the Stream Deck sitting right here.
Looking at this the other day, and I was like, man, don't take the Stream Deck out of the box yet, because you already got enough stuff on the desk, and you got to move it soon.
Yeah.
So just chill out. Just don't do it. You know, bunches is coming back as a thing, though. That I have a strong suspicion that I will be setting up bunches again here shortly.
I have bunches installed. I just haven't done anything with it.
I haven't done anything with it since the last time I had to reset a computer. Not going to the MacBook Air, but the last time I had to wipe the MacBook Pro for whatever reason I did that. I installed Bunch and I just didn't set it back up. And also didn't back up my previous bunches, because I did actually have a decently technically working, or it was called podcast because I was being ambitious, but it was, for technically working. But anyway, when I would trigger that bunch with a shortcut key, it would open audio hijack to the technically working session that I had set up. This is back when we were streaming it into places, too. It open that session up and do a whole bunch of other things, and open up Chrome, and all of that for, clean feed. Yeah, Bunch is cool. And I like, I like kind of, it's funny, the whole world is coming back around. Like, oh, we need markdown and text files for all this stuff. To make stuff work. And me and Brett Terpstor were like, yeah, we've been trying to tell you that for years. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you should listen to people when they tell you things. Now, the only thing I changed this week is the microphone, and I'm on the, Earthworks Ethos. So Earthworks is the company. Ethos is the type of microphone. If you go, I was going to say if you go price it now, like I did not pay that price. I absolutely did not pay whatever it costs right now, because I caught it on sale. I have no idea what it is now though, because, prices move around quite a bit. I don't want to talk about it anymore either. Gas prices, man. But that's the only thing.
$477.
How much?
$394.77.
So it's almost as cheap as it was when I bought it. Yeah. When I bought it, it was on sale for $349. I might have paid $400 with the boom arm that it came with, which I kind of at this point wish I hadn't bought the bundle, because I don't even use that boom arm. It is in its box in the closet. I do have a spare boom arm.
So I'm confused. The silver one is $394. The black one is $449. So what color do you have, Damashe?
Oh, I have the black one.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I have the black one, man.
Yeah,
silver microphone, man. What the hell?
But really,
why? Yeah, that is a little ridiculous. Although I recall it being similar. The silver one was cheaper than the black one when I bought it also. But
you could get the Earthworks Icon Pro for $499.
I don't know anything about that microphone.
Me neither.
Know nothing about it at all. And I'm not buying another microphone.
These are Sweetwater prices, so it's not like it's two different retailers either. It's just the color.
No, I've seen that in a couple of other instances too, where like a color, usually it is something specific. Well, I don't know, because I was going to buy that, what was the Neumann mic? I was going to buy that at one point, and they had a silver one, anniversary edition or something, and it was cheaper than the black one. And I was like, well, I'm not spending $700 for the microphone. Like, that's okay. We'll keep it moving. Yeah, but I'm not buying any more microphones. Like, I think I'm done. It's all over. It's a wrap.
Oh, Guitar Center has it used for $299.
Well, that's not a bad deal.
No,
Guitar Center is a trustworthy reseller. That I would have picked up possibly.
I would buy that off of some random one on eBay.
Yeah, definitely. Because the random one on eBay, who knows what they were doing, man? Like, geez, man.
And this is a condenser microphone for those who are curious.
Yep, it is a condenser microphone. Has very much a similar pickup pattern. Super cardioid, hypercardioid, one of those. Similar type of tighter pattern for pickup like the Shure Beta 87A. It is a little bigger around, so you have a little bit more space. That's not the right way to put that, but you have a little bit more space for, better resonance. I think I sound slightly better on this. Maybe better isn't even really the word to use, but I think I sound a little more like me on this microphone. But not noticeable enough that if you're holding a Beta 87A that you should go out and buy one of these. I still stand by the Beta 87A as the best, all around, high quality condenser microphone that you can buy for doing podcasts. I still stand by that. One reason I picked this up is because it does sound good. I wanted to see how I sounded on it. I was also in a phase where I was testing mics. I wasn't intentionally buying stuff and sending it back. I was actually looking for a replacement mic for my Beta 87A. So the 87A could become a travel mic that I didn't have to disassemble my setup to take a decent microphone with me.
Right.
So I wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to buy stuff and then, I don't like this one. I'm going to send it, oh, I tested this one. I'm going to send it back and get another one and send it back and get another one.
So he wasn't being a Michael who bought 4 different microphones. I think I had $1,000 tied up in microphones at one point with the intention of sending some back.
Well, you knew you weren't going to keep all of them. I essentially did what you did, just more on a 1-by-1 basis. You were looking for a microphone for a specific purpose and you just bought them all at one time and then picked the one that you were going to keep and then sent the rest of them back.
Yeah. And that made it easier to test which one I liked better anyways, because I had them all right there.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, but that's how that went. Although I did not try out the SM7B, which Michael did. So, maybe you can dig up a clip of one of those and drop it in the show so you can hear what the SM7B sounded like.
I should have it somewhere.
I've thought about an RE20.
I liked that. I liked that mic when I was working at Bicoastal. That was a nice mic. Like, I liked the way it made me sound, and I've thought about it. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. It's a heavy microphone too.
I was going to say, like, the one reason that I have, because I've seen them on sale at decent prices here and there over the years, the RE20 and the 320. But they are heavy mics and you need a different sort of setup for those because you're going to need a mic stand. I don't think the boom arms we have will hold them. You can get a boom arm that can probably hold it, but I don't think the Rode one that we have will hold it. So you're going to need something that can hold all of that weight, or you're going to need a floor stand with a boom arm on it that you move around. And even then you're going to need a weight or something on the end of that floor stand, or a very heavy weighted stand to set it on, because it is a super heavy mic. But it's a nice mic. Sounds very good, but it's also big. That's one thing I like about the 87A and the Earthworks Ethos, and even the Audio Technica is like they're small handheld style. Well, this isn't a handheld mic. This has to be mounted, but still, it's a smaller microphone. It doesn't take up I can move my boom arm without having to worry about knocking over my laptop screen because the mic is so freaking huge. But man, the RE20 and the 320 does sound good. I've actually recorded on a 320, and it's nice. It's a very good mic. It is very gain hungry though. Kind of like the SM7B. You're gonna, have to push the, it's a dynamic mic, so it's very forgiving of, cuts out a lot of side noise.
That's good.
You should buy one.
Maybe.
I mean, 6 easy payments on,
you probably get it in 12 easy payments on Z-Sounds. It's over $300, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Definitely. I mean, I think the RE320 is like $349 normally. That's what it used to be. The RE20 is $449 last time I priced it. Regular price.
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the near future. I do need some more tax deductions, but that's for next year.
Yeah. That is true. Also, look up the weight and look up the weight of what the boom arm you got the Rode can hold now, because that'll play a factor. It's not a mic you're just going to buy. I'm like, yeah, I'll just throw this up here. Now your boom arm's laying flat on the table. Like,
you thought you had a fancy boom arm, not anymore.
It's like, yeah, I give it up, man. I give it up. But yeah, man, interesting week, long week, slightly difficult week, busy week. I'll say that.
Busy.
Very busy week. I have not gotten to do any sort of, I've done a little tinkering with Claude in the sense that I installed the Claude desktop app and I used it a bit to do some stuff.
How is it? It keeps shoving it in my face.
It's actually not bad.
Okay.
There are some things you're going to want to do, initially when you after you sign in, go to the settings and go to desktop app and turn off or disable or change some of the shortcuts, because it has some very weird default shortcuts set up. So now I have option space set up to open Claude from anywhere, which is kind of cool. Kind of takes me back to the Mac GPT days.
I remember those days.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, keyboard shortcuts working there. It does stuff. I haven't really spent that much time with it. I basically use it to do some analysis of of a couple of contracts and some sales figures, which is mostly just to kind of figure out like, hey, how accessible is this? Or does it make more sense to just go to the web? I'm like, I could actually use this on the desktop. It doesn't feel clunky in the way that other solutions have felt clunky. So perhaps it's okay. You do have tabs or radio buttons at the top. So you have, I think, conversation, co-work, and code, are your options there. So, I would say it's worth looking at, see if you like the interface to it or not, but you're also using Claude, I think, a lot of times. Most of the time in VS Code, for you. So, coding wise, it might not make sense. But you could have a quick shortcut to pop open Claude, since you have, I think, more than me at this point, really settled on Claude being your LLM of choice. And I still occasionally will go to Gemini for stuff, especially if I'm trying to really drill down on something and I need it to be as accurate as possible. So I'll use the LLMs against each other, to be like, hey, listen, this guy told me this. Well, that's accurate, but blah, 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 blah. It's like, hey, this guy said this about your stuff. Then we start a war, who knows? And I will still occasionally go to GPT, although I'm not paying for it anymore. I still have a to-doist task that I set up that says, evaluate whether or not you want to, continue using GPT. Essentially, the task was like, figure out if you want to stick it to OpenAI by paying for your, Chat GPT subscription through the App Store. So they have to give Apple 30% of the $20. But up under all of that is like, is it valuable enough that I need to go back to paying for the subscription, or am I okay? And I think I'm okay. I don't think they're actually offering me anything that I really need, to give them $20 a month for. Also I have Gemini Pro or whatever it is, because I pay for Apple. Nope. Also pay for Apple One too, but, Google One, which is $20 a month, but that gets everybody that's in my Google One family. I think it's a terabyte. No, it just went up. It used to be 2 terabytes. And now 5 terabytes. I'm like, count them, 5 of them. Terabytes of storage so everybody can back up their, Google Photos and all of that stuff. And bonus for me is I get Gemini Pro, for $20 a month. So, but that was something I was paying for before Gemini even became a part of that. It just kind of got rolled in. First it was like, oh, we're going to give this to you free for a little while. And it was like, oh, well, now you just have Gemini with your, Google One subscription. And then it's like, we just upped your storage for your Google One subscription. It's like, geez, Google, you tried hard, huh? What are you not telling us is what I want to know right now. It's like, what is really going on back here? Oh, we're going to raise the price of YouTube Premium is what we're going to do. Oh, I see. So, needless to say, I'm not happy about that. It just jumped up $4. Well, it will jump up $4 for family.
It always goes up. Always.
Yeah, man, but listen, like, my problem is if they would give me a somewhat cheaper price and take away YouTube Music from the bundle. They have that as an individual plan, but they don't have it as a family option. I would absolutely stay on that because nobody uses YouTube Music. Like, nobody. Not even the kids. Like, if they want music, they go to Apple Music.
They go to Apple Music.
Even on the TV, they're going to Apple Music. Like, so, like, nobody's using YouTube Music. The YouTube app won't run on the blind shell. The third party, the actual YouTube app won't load correctly on the blind shell. So I can't even use it there because I was like, oh, well, that's how I'll get music on here. Since Apple, won't run on a ROM that has been modified or whatever crap they said. But yeah, YouTube doesn't run. And the regular YouTube app, the blind shell YouTube app, I don't know if it does music or not. I hadn't really played with it. So yeah, just YouTube, man, is all I want. But no real coding stuff. I have used Claude quite a bit. Like I said, there's some good use cases for it. I mean, I was looking at, for example, a lease, and there were some clauses I was like, I don't really feel like that applies to me. And there were some other clauses where I'm like, that seems kind of one-sided and not in my favor. I was like, you know what? Just gonna give it to the Claude. Like, listen, look at this and tell me what I should request to change and why. And it went through, and then I asked it, are you sure those are all the things? And he was like, I've identified some other areas. I'm like, okay, have you identified? Okay, run through this one more time and make sure that you didn't miss anything. Nope, I stand by everything that I said, although I may have overly reacted to this particular clause because further down it kind of explains that what happens. It was like, yeah, you're kind of starting to suck.
Yeah. Now, what model was that?
4.6 Opus.
Opus. Oh.
Extended.
Oh, okay. You went for the best.
Well, I mean, that's just what it was already set to.
Oh, okay.
I didn't change it to that. This is just what it was set to.
So I'm working on a coding project, and by the way, it's amazing to see things actually come together and be like, oh, that is coming together. But I've been using Sonnet for the PRDs and breaking things up in the product requirement documents and helping me with the prompts and what it is that I need to do to actually make it come together. And I've been impressed with Sonnet. I hit limits too fast with Opus, and that's why I switched over to Sonnet, because I feel like you get like 20, 30 messages, and Opus is like, yeah, you've had enough of me today, at least for right now.
So first thing is, I'm glad you actually explained what PRDs were without me having to ask you what the hell is a PRD, because yeah, nobody's getting pardoned over here. But yeah, that has been a thing I've heard a few other people say here and there since I wouldn't say early days of 4.6, but I would say maybe starting mid-January, I kind of started hearing a few people say this, that, oh, I use, the smaller models for this thing, and then I'll go to 4.6 when it's actually time to write the code. And I should actually take that approach too. I have, I would say most times I go to Claude, like I type in Claude in the browser and I get there and then I just do the thing that I'm doing and I'm not even thinking about which model I'm using. And then eventually I'll see it at some point because I'm like, oh, let me attach a file or let me, do this or see if they have this kind of connector. And I'm like, oh, I'm using 4.6 extended Opus to, ask it to analyze a JSON document of sales. Okay, that doesn't seem like seems a little overkill, but now we're already in the conversation now. So, here we go.
Yeah. And you can't change between models in Claude. I don't know if you notice that, but if you change a model, it starts a new conversation.
Yeah, they all do that, or they all have done that at some point.
I thought ChatGPT would let you switch between the models to get.
Maybe it does now, but I know early on when I tried that because I wanted to go to a better model, it started a whole new conversation. I was like, well, that's kind of pointless. But yeah, I probably should try that. I should actually try Haiku too, because I haven't tried Haiku in a very long time.
Oh, me neither.
I wonder if for some of the smaller things that I've been doing with it, with Claude, would that even just be a better model and more cost effective? And then say, 4.6 for, I need you to compile a very detailed report about this, or, build a view for this page for the archive of this thing. And I don't know how to do any of that, cause I don't know Laravel all that much.
I don't know. I started going down a project. Well, I have completed M0, M1, M2, M3, and M4 out of M7. There's a total of 7. Well, I guess that would be 8 tasks that are broken up into chunks. And I've completed 4 of them. And then someone made a comment. They're like, well, I wouldn't have did that in Flask. I would have did that in Django. And so I went back to Claude and I'm like, so a friend told me that they wouldn't have done this in Flask. They would have did it in Django. What do you think? And it's like, well, your friend's not wrong, but you're already too far along to change it. So don't worry about it. But Flask is more lightweight though than Django is. And Django seems like it has a lot of overhead that I might not use for what I'm doing, but we'll see. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, though, like, one thing is, yes, Claude was absolutely 100% correct in that. Well, you're way too far down the line. Like, let's start over. Yep.
Freddie started building databases, giving privileges, adding users. Yeah, it's a little too far now.
Yeah, so, there's that aspect of it. 2, if at some point you decide that you need Django, like, it's not hard for Claude to rewrite it. I mean, listen, Cloudflare used vibe coding mostly to rewrite WordPress in TypeScript. So,
oh wow, I did not realize they vibe coded that.
Man, do you really think the Cloudflare engineers spent the past couple of months rewriting WordPress from scratch? No. Like, do you really think that's the thing that they did? They didn't do that.
You haven't played with it yet, have you?
Huh? No, I haven't poked at it yet because Claude told me I was way too far down the line of building the technically working website to start over again. I was like, you're absolutely right.
Isn't it nice to tell the AI that it's absolutely right instead of it telling you you're right, Michael? You're absolutely right, Damashe. Like, I did do that wrong.
That would be a pointless waste of time to reconvert this. And plus, some of the plugins I'm using might not even work over there yet. So let's keep going where we're going. And also fix this thing because it's broken. And this time, don't unbreak it. I mean, not unbreak it. Put a test in place so that you don't break it again. Because, I don't want to keep doing this.
Tests. If I could have told myself 10 months ago what I know now, and that is,
you should have told yourself that 10 years ago, too.
Yeah. Add tests. Tests.
The thing is that is one major pickup, and I've heard professional career developers say that, like, writing tests with the LLM tools that are out here now, and I know this from having tried to write tests before myself. I didn't do it as much because it was a pain. Like, if there was a test that already existed, like PHP unit, and then I just needed to or PHP code sniffer, and I just needed to, tweak it for the specific, project. And even then I would go looking around like, who has already written some code sniffer rules for WordPress? And then I can tweak those to what I'm doing. Like, okay, cool. Yeah. We got tests. And then you run the composer, whatever. I forget the command now. That's not even what it was. It was PHP code sniffer, I think. Whatever the command was. You run the command and then your tests come back and they fail. And then now you're in, what was the website that nobody goes to anymore? The answer place. I really am blanking on the name. No,
Stack Overflow.
There you go. Thank you. Now you're in Stack Overflow. Like, man, what the hell does this mean? So, yeah, all that to say that, now you get a failure in the test and you just loop it back into the LLM. Like, okay, you ran the test and then this happened. So, used to be, what does this mean? What do I do? Now it's like, listen, fix it until we don't get this, keep going over it until the test pass. And when the test pass, then you are okay to let me know that something is ready. Don't commit ever, and absolutely never, ever under the time of the sun existing in the sky should you push ever.
Yeah. How's that going for you?
I mean, it hadn't really done anything that needed to be pushed. Actually I've been making it, I had found it somewhat easier to let the LLM do the commits. Like once something was done, like do the commit, because you can always roll back from a commit, and also it would probably commit way more.
Work on a separate branch, people. Please.
Absolutely
Please.
work on a separate branch. I said this years ago.
You did. You did. I am all about branches and PRs now and working your way through that. But yes, work on a separate branch.
Yeah. Work on a separate branch.
A lot.
Work on a feature branch is what I generally attempt to do. Sometimes there's some creep, we all slip. As Bart said, ideally you want a branch because you're fixing something or you're adding a feature and you're only working on that feature, and then you're going to merge that back into, your main branch. Mm-hmm. But we all, creep a little bit on that. But generally, that's what you want to do for two reasons. Number one, if you severely get down a hole and you're like, man, I don't even know how to fix, just delete the branch and now you're back where you were before you started building that thing, right? And you hadn't lost anything that was working. That's one reason for branching. The reason you want to focus on a feature or a fix, specifically, instead of being like, well, I want to add this new database schema and then I'm going to also build this thing. And then you're doing all that on one branch, because then well, a couple of reasons. Number one, a focused branch means that you can very easily go back to that state. You can pull back through that in a lot of ways, and it keeps you focused on a specific task. The other reason is, and I have actually done this, where I built something, and this little thing that I added, which wasn't even the purpose of the branch in the first place, worked perfectly. It was great. It's just an idea that popped in my head while I was on the branch, and I did it, and it worked. This is before LLMs. And then in the course of me trying to learn and figure out and tinker and learn how to make another thing work, I severely broke it. I got to a point where, I don't even know what happened to the database. Like, it was the whole thing was just boiked, and I was like, crap. And I was, okay, so I guess I'm destroying the branch, then we'll start over. It was like, oh, I go back and I run this, I'm looking for this thing to work in the test site, and it wasn't working. I was like, but I added this. Oh, I added it on that branch and completely forgot about it. So branch and commit often, because then it make your commits. And it's going back to what I have found it generally easier because I wanted to insert some things that I didn't want to figure out how to write myself. So let the LLM commit, because I was like, hey, before you commit, you should run a diff, get a change log, and input that change log of whatever was changed, in just like a change log style in each commit. So that when we're done with this branch and we merge it back, we have a change log, so that when I eventually push and then do a release or an update, then there's a change log to go along with this. And I'm not going to do it. And it's working good. But then the little arrogant hole got a little carried away. It's like, oh, well, I committed this and I pushed it. And it's like, yeah, you just triggered a whole bunch of tests on GitHub that didn't need to run because we're nowhere near deployment. So awesome. You just deployed the site. I mean, fortunately, it was to a staging server, but you just deployed the site like 3 times. Yeah. Neither of which was ready to be deployed at all. We were not done.
You're absolutely right, Damashe. I'm so sorry.
It's like, sorry doesn't fix the fact that you just destroyed our link to the space station, dude. Like, because you've broken it. Now we can never get those people back because of you.
Yeah. Welcome to AI.
I mean, it didn't, it wasn't that serious in my case, but this is where, outside of people's, sometimes warranted, sometimes unwarranted, fear of LLMs, those are the sort of things that LLMs running them up could create a problem, right? Like, as simple as you just deployed code that you were not supposed to push, because when you push, that triggers stuff in GitHub, and GitHub does a thing, and then it does some more things. These are all GitHub actions. And then the server sees, oh, well, this was pushed, so then I should do a git pull and then update the site and run all this stuff. And then now the site's half broken. And because you're in the middle of feature development, you don't even exactly know what the hell it broke. Here's another reason for a thing that I like when it comes to deploying a production website. This may not be so important if you're just tinkering around, but if you're pushing to production, one of two things you should do. You should we should always make sure you write very good commit messages. And when you merge, write very good merge, commits, so that you know what was changed in your Git history. But another thing to do, if you're using automated tools to deploy a site, or deploy an app to the web, use atomic deployments. because what that gives you is a release point. So when I push this code, a bunch of other things happen over here with these GitHub actions. It deploys to the site. It creates a new folder. It symlinks or hard links, or I always forget which one is which. Anyway, it links to, like, so let's take WordPress as an example, because I can make this more concrete. I have a WordPress site and I add the feature for passkeys, and I've tested passkeys locally and I've tested them on the staging site. And Mike's like, yep, they work for me. And I got 3 passkeys, one in iCloud Drive, one in 1Password, and one in Windows thing or whatever, because Windows has it. Whatever Windows is called, the Windows. It's like, all right, this is working. So now I'm going to run the commands or do what I need to do to deploy these new changes with the passkey support to the production website. Well, ordinarily, I would say ordinarily. I know what people used to do 13 years ago. You would connect to your FTP server and copy the files over that you needed. And I hope you didn't overwrite something important like the WP config. Yeah. But atomic deployments, what you would do is you're running something either locally from your computer or in the cloud, like at GitHub, with some actions that is going to connect to your remote server. And your file structure is going to look different, but you're going to connect to your remote server where the WordPress site is. And depending on how you're installing WordPress, I'm going to use the way that I have been using it for years now, which is Composer. Mm-hmm. So first it's going to create a new folder, a temporary folder for the release. It's going to clone that in. It's going to copy out the files and move them to, let's say, release whatever today's date and hour date stamp, whatever the timestamp is at the time it starts copying those files. That is going to be up under a new folder inside of a releases folder. Once it has deployed that code, run the Composer update and all of that stuff, and all of those little things have run, then it's going to take a symlink that is probably called live or production or current, something like that. And instead of it pointing at, 2026 04 10, random time, it'll move that and make that symlink for current point to 2026 04 11, some random time. And your web server is set up to serve files from /whatever /current /web or public or whatever your, actual thing is, right? So your web server never, gets confused because you're just moving basically a symlink to point to a new thing. For WordPress and other frameworks that have shared files in between them. So let's say like your config file, you don't want to rewrite that every time. That would go into a shared directory, and you would just, a part of your deployment process would be linking that config file where it needs to be in your new deployment. Same with your uploads folder and like that, right? Now, nice thing about that is your stupid AI bot decides, I'm going to push, and then it triggers all of that stuff that I just mentioned happening, and now your site's in a half-ass broken state and it doesn't load. All you got to do is log into the server and move that current symlink back to the previous release. And boom, now your site works. Mike has actually seen this happen in action in real life. He just didn't realize why it happened as quickly as it happened. But you've seen this happen a couple of times. It's like, oh crap, hold on one sec. Okay, now it's fixed. Because the deployment tool I was using was Deployer, which is a PHP deployment tool. Every language has tools similar to that. Ruby had Capistrano. I don't know if that's still around. But most of the languages that I'm familiar with, have some sort of deployment tool like this. I was using Deployer. The command I ran from my computer to fix that was deploy rollback. And just went back to the previous version. It's like, all right, it works. I was like, yeah, I think I know what I broke there, but let me fix that, and then we'll try redeploying that again, and I'll see if we can fix it. This is important if you're doing a production site and you're using automated systems to publish and test and all of that. You want to have a way to quickly roll back to your deal. And we've gotten way down in the weeds. I'm sorry, Chris. We're coming back.
And to think, I was told Mallory about 2 hours ago, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure something out.
Shout out to Windows. I was not saying you had the passkey, by the way. She didn't listen to the show anyway. Never mind.
No, she does not. Not at all.
Although I did think about that and trying to figure out, like, what is Windows password storage thingy called?
Windows Hello.
There you. Thank you.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to remember.
Gotcha.
Mike's
So
like,
now
okay, I don't even know where to go from here.
I mean, we are at almost an hour. If we want to shoot for an hour, we can get ready to wrap it up a little bit. I will say one cool thing that I want to give a shout out for, and I don't remember the name of it, but if you're interested, this is how I find out if people actually listen to that entire segment, is if you want it, send us an email to feedback@technicallyworking.show. But there is now, thanks to Doug for sharing this with us, a ham radio that is tri-band, so it's 70 centimeters, 2 meters, and whatever the other one is, 220, 440, and 100 are the frequencies. But it's a Chinese-based radio which comes with full TTS. Well, it's not TTS. It's pre-recorded voices that are built in, higher quality, which is okay. We've seen this in other radios that are kind of cheap. But what really stands out is this one has Braille on the keypad as well, which is intriguing. And it's $118 or something, which is not bad compared to when you're looking at some of the Kenwood or Yaesu radios where you're $400, $600, $800 for an accessible radio. So,
oh goodness, I was going to say, like, what are you getting for that price for a ham radio? But I guess you just said it, like somebody had to take the time to make it accessible.
So take the time to make it accessible, and you're paying for the name too. Like, people know Kenwood as the radio of choice. Well, most people do, but you know,
they're stereo people. That's what I know them for.
Ooh, yes.
Man, kids, ask your parents about receivers and amps and
speakers,
speaker wire.
Speaker wire. That's enough right there. Just ask them about speaker wire. How did you used to connect speakers, parents? Go ask them that question.
Did you use the thin speaker wire or the thicker speaker wire?
What happened when you broke those little plastic things off the speaker or off the receiver? How did you get those?
Man. So, yeah. Mike, tell people, this is funny that you just brought this up about the radio, because I actually was thinking about this the other day. Most people have heard of ham radio. Mm-hmm. And no, we're not going to. Well, I don't think we're going to do like a super deep dive on the history of ham and how the frequencies work and any of that.
Any of that.
But I want you to briefly explain to people, like, what just kind of explain the whole idea behind ham radio, like what in your usage of it, and then whether or not they're still, able to get how to go about getting a license if you're interested.
So, ham radios is a hobby. I don't know the history of it. I mean, I've heard it. I just am not going to relay it because I guarantee I'll mess up some facts. But quick side note, I am wearing these other headphones, and I thought, why is things sounding so weird to me? But these headphones are not open back at all. They're on-ear headphones, so they completely cut my whole voice out, and it's just weird. Even though I hear myself monitoring, it's weird. Just saying. It's all about the headphones. So ham
the
radios.
Mallory headphones?
What?
Are these the Mallory headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't used those to record before?
No, these are the ones that she got me almost a year ago, not the one she got me for Christmas. The one I normally use for Christmas are bigger, and they're partial open back, kind of like the AKGs, and I'm just comfortable with them. These ones are let me squeeze your head tight while you talk, and you can just hear yourself in the yeah. So it does make a difference with your headphones. Just saying.
AKGs, man, they're still my favorites. Although I hadn't tried the ones you said she bought you. You said it was also semi-open.
Yeah. Did I send you a link for them?
No, you didn't. You should. But we're getting sidetracked from the ham radio thing.
Ham radio, yes. And really the big thing about ham radio is it's a electronic hobbyist thing for the most part. The ham radio operators in our area are involved in emergency preparedness and involved in major community events. Like we have a couple of races each year or parades or other relevant content like that. And the ham radio operators provide communications between different stations and different parts of those programs that go on. So I got involved in ham radio mainly because in 2020, it was a goal of mine throughout my childhood to get my ham radio license, and I never sat down to do the studying to actually make it happen. And in 2020, I went ahead and watched several YouTube videos where they go over the question pool and answers, and they share with you exactly what the answer are and why the answer. That was what was important for me, is why is the answer this? And so once I got that information, I went ahead and took my ham radio test, and there are 3 levels. I got my technician class. There's a general and an extra. It's funny, I was just talking to someone today, and I said, I might start studying for my general class because licenses are good for 10 years, and I got mine in 2020, so weird to think about that I am more than halfway through the use of that license, so I'll have to renew it in 2030. Not the use of it, but before it expires. I use ham radio myself now to just kind of tinker around. I think it's important for people to know someone who is a ham radio operator if you're not one yourself, especially, and this is my inner Damashe coming out, especially when the cell phone, internet, and phone systems go down and you need to get the word out or you need to communicate with people. Ideally, one of these days, and I've been saying this since we got a vehicle back in 2020, one of these days, though, we're going to get a radio in the vehicle that Mallory drives, because there are points where there are not cellular service. And if something happens, then I'd like there to be options for individuals who are driving those vehicles just in case. Now, satellite communication has kind of, I think, possibly, and I've never used a satellite to communicate, but possibly made radios a little less relevant. But I will tell you, it is significantly faster to pull out a radio, turn it on, press the push to talk button, say your message, and then release. You don't have to mess with the touch screen or wait for the network to connect your call, or, do what you need to do to text someone or wait for them to answer. You do have to wait for them to answer if you need a response, but to get the message out there, you can just turn your radio on, make sure it's tuned to the right channel, and then press the push to talk button, and you're communicating with whoever. We have several repeaters in our area, and a repeater takes your signal. So most handheld radios are 5 to 7 watts. Some are 10 watts, which is not a whole bunch. Some of a whole lot of power. Get you, 2.5 to 5 miles, somewhere around there. And it's depending on the band, because you can go pretty far. I think I heard like 15 to 20 miles on different bands, but the point is it's not very far. If you have a repeater in your area, you can connect to that repeater by sending a signal to one frequency, and then most repeaters on an alternate frequency will take your signal and rebroadcast it at hundreds or thousands of watts, and that will make your signal go significantly farther. And then what people on the West Coast have done is we have a network called SORA, Southwestern Oregon Repeater Association, and that is linked repeaters that go all up and down the Oregon coast, and then they go inland, and then they go up and down I-5. So if I configured things properly, I could reach a repeater that is about 6.5 miles away from my house for my handheld radio and talk to Larry, who is about an hour outside of Seattle, using the linked repeater system. And it's that type of stuff that it's kind of like the phones were back in, the 70s or the 80s or the 90s when they were fun to play with. Now they're not so much fun to play with anymore. So that's my spiel on ham radio. And staying in tune with In some instances, because a lot of them are going digital, but in some in some locations, you can stay tuned in to things like your local police department or emergency services or
ICE.
I mean, that too. Although I expect they're probably digitized. Just saying. They probably are.
Probably.
Our local airport, we can listen to what's going on the ground or as planes are coming in or taking off. So there's a lot of different things. Radio is used a lot. And if you have the right tools, you can get a lot of information that goes on around you.
Yeah, I would, and I was thinking this as you were talking about it, and I'm gonna probably sound flippant, but I'm not really trying to be flippant, and I think I'm correct. Even though a lot of stuff is going to satellites or satellite communications is negating the necessary need for radios in some instances, if there's ever actual, warfare of destroying each other's satellites and or too much space junk as satellites, stop working and they're just up there taking up a whole lot of, you don't have as clear a line of sight to the sky as something like a terrestrial radio still can reach pretty far, especially with repeaters in the area.
I mean,
there's also the fact that it's much more difficult under certain circumstances. It's a lot more difficult to shut down the ham radio network as opposed to blocking someone's access to a satellite.
Yes. Yeah. And like it or not, I don't think we're going to go down this path, but let's say that things change in the government in the United States in the next 3 to 5 years. And there's a desire for those in a position of opportunity to make our communications only be within the United States, for example, because they decided let's not just have the Great Wall, let's have the Great Firewall as well. And other countries have observed this too, to where you can only interact with network-based machines that are in the United States. That is a real possibility, and I think it's easier than people might even think to make something that disruptive happen, whether that be by our government or another government. And I do want to say, I mean, Artemis 2 just came back from traveling around the moon and then landing, and most, except for 40 minutes of that, was done with radio communications. They didn't have they did have cell phones, but they weren't making cell phone calls off of satellites while they were in space.
No, they were, there was some kind of laser beam or something. It's kind of laser beam technology, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm actually going to look that up because now that all the footage is done, since I missed it when it started, and I think it's just because I was busy, because I actually admit to sit down and watch that whole thing. Well, now that it's all over, I'm pretty sure there's a YouTube playlist where I can catch up on a lot of this stuff and sit down with the kids and let them watch the launch about a week late. 2 weeks late.
I listened to them take off and them land, but that was about it.
I did catch the takeoff because I actually heard it on Twit on Intelligent Machines, but it was still after the fact. I did not hear them land because that happened yesterday, and man, I was so deep in the paperwork and administrivia I didn't do nothing but administrivia. And I was home all day yesterday because I sent my mom and my current worker guy out to go work together. It's weird. I didn't know what to do. Well, I did know what to do, which was take care of a whole bunch of business stuff that needed taken care of. But it kind of just felt weird, not having to be out and like, hey, stuff was actually getting done. And,
they were using a laser. Huh. Oh, damn it, Damashe, you just sent me down a rabbit hole.
Oh man, no. See, I haven't gone. I'm going down there too. I just haven't gotten there yet because I'm like, wait, that is cool as hell though.
Yeah.
And they were actually sending some of their pictures, not a lot of them, not a ton of them, but some of their pictures back with the same text. Like, how did they do this?
And they were not super high quality, but they were high enough quality. But they did struggle with using Outlook before they left the atmosphere.
I mean, just proves my point. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I wonder how many Google people just snarkily said, see, they should have signed up for Workspace. We had this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently somebody had to ask one of the other astronauts to email someone for him because his Outlook wasn't working. So, yeah. But hey, go back 10 years or more, I've been saying Outlook sucks. Anyhow, I think we're probably going to wrap it up there. I did want Mike to give that little brief kind of discussion since ham radio sort of came up. And it was also on my mind, so it was weird that he mentioned it. I am going to seriously look at getting my ham license at some point. I started working on it, and I don't know. I think I got sidetracked because I started trying to plan to get to do the BEP program, and should have did it when Mike first told me to do it. But
I remember us talking about it.
Yeah, and you actually had sent me the list because I think that year, or coming up on that year, for a brief period of time, you were able to take the test for free or something like that. And I got wound up because I ended up having to do more work than I should have to ensure that things got to where they were supposed to be so that I would actually be in the BEP class of 2024. When I was. And that kind of got pushed to the wayside, and I missed that window. And I was like, well, since it ain't so pressing that I try to hurry up and do it now because it's free, I'll get to it. I forgot until the other day, and I was thinking about it for similar reasons that we have discussed. If things go this way or that way, alternative means of communication are necessary. Could become necessary. I'm surprised you haven't gone down the rabbit hole, or maybe you missed this episode of Intelligent Machines where the person was there talking about, it's like they're building I don't say their own, but like they're building a community-based encrypted peer-to-peer communication network. I have to find it.
Yeah, you'll have to send it to me because I just sent you a YouTube video. Laser versus RF, how Artemis 2 is revolutionizing space communication.
Yeah.
And I started watching part of it. I'm like, this guy looks interesting.
Aha. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We want to thank everybody for listening. Shout out to us if you are a ham radio operator, because Mike is. I don't know how that works. I think you can talk to each other. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to mention internet linking, because you can link repeaters with the internet and then you can talk which I'm torn about because that kind of, one could argue that defeats the purpose, but it is what it is.
Listen,
why not use technology?
You're going to put it on the internet, but I think it's important to have alternatives to the internet should someone decide to press a button that they may or may not know that they have access to shut off the internet.
Yeah.
Or if they just try to box us all in and say, you all have to use Starlink now, because I resist. I refuse. I would become a resistor instantly. If I were not already theoretically a resistor. But all of that being said, we want to thank you for not resisting the urge to listen to Technically Working and for sticking with us through the whole episode. Yeah, we got a little off in the weeds this week. So we'll just trim the hedges next week. How about that? Make that work out. You can follow us on the social media Fediverse Mastodon. He's Payon, Payown at dragonscave.space. I am Damashe, Damashe at technically.social. You should follow the bot. It is TW at technically.social. And you can use the hashtag Technically Working. We appreciate it if you capitalize the T and the W on Mastodon, because we both follow that hashtag. And you'll know I got back to Claude coding and development stuff and programming when the bot tells you it is alive.
It has
I'm free. I'm out here now. Something, because man, the work, business stuff, man, it's tax time too. So man, but may have a big announcement in a couple of weeks. Actually, probably hopefully if everything goes well, I'll have at least a decent announcement, a nice, well overdue announcement to Nate next week. No, it's not the website. It's a business thing. It's a Spirals thing. It's not a technically working thing.
Ooh.
But, and I think I have spotted the next vehicle I want to buy.
Have you reached out to them? Is it the one we talked about?
We talked about the Sprinter.
I don't remember. We'll talk about it later.
Well, no. I ain't reached out to nobody, man, because first I gotta get this address situation resolved first, and then we'll look at another vehicle. But I think I know what I want to get. At any rate, if you're a ham, reach out to us. We appreciate it. You know, share your ham tag with
Your
Mike.
call sign.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You can do that. If you have questions, comments, feedback, constructive criticism, we accept it all. Even if you want to just rant, we got to check the comments page on the podcast page.
I haven't seen a Pinecast notification. We set up those notifications.
Oh,
remember?
yeah, we did.
Yep.
We did. Okay.
So we should be good.
check to make sure the notifications are actually working.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should probably still check.
But yeah, even if you want to call and rant to us about how terrible the show is and why you're never going to listen again, we appreciate those too. We mostly laugh at you uproariously, and we don't read them on the show, but we still appreciate them. So we're going to wrap it up. Thanks to our tip jar subscribers, each and every one of you. And just in case you're curious, you can go make a one-time tip. You know, it's like going to a restaurant. You had a good show and you decide to leave a tip. You can do that. If you are not comfortable, capable, or willing to do an ongoing subscription, but major shout out to everybody with the subscriptions, man. Cause listen, one, we're not raising the prices of our subscriptions by the amount. And two, we appreciate you because we're out here too, and we're all working and trying to afford stuff. That being said, this has been episode number, did I give the email address at the end? No, I did not. You can send us email if you want to rant at us about stuff. Feedback at technicallyworking.show. There we go. Now we can wrap it up. This has been episode number.
Hold on.
He forgot.
Yeah, I sure did. Okay. Hold on. What? It doesn't tell. How does it not tell me that? Oh,
It's 158.
it is. 158.
We literally discussed this about 30 minutes ago.
I know, but I don't think
And
you
we
ever
did the
told
same
me.
thing in the last show.
You did not tell me, though, which one it was, because I was setting up Clubhouse, and then we started talking about why I was doing
did.
Clubhouse.
No, I did. I said it, but you were setting up Clubhouse, so you might have missed it.
Yeah, 158.